How's everybody doing?
So far, so good. We're getting ready to start the meeting here real shortly.
You want to go sit? You can sit by Mike.
Are they treating you all right in jail?
Oh, no. Keep Corey in line.
It's 17 and a half hours driving out here to Michigan.
I'm a little dog.
Should be good. Go, right?
You
gonna be in our meeting?
It's 5:30. We'll call the city commission to order. Pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, minutes of the regular city commission held September 6, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Motion by Commissioner Robbins.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, it's now public hearing for the budget for 2023, dealing with the salary plan and position authorization. And Spencer?
Yep, so between preliminary approval and final approval here, just to give you a quick update, spoke with representatives of Blue Cross Blue Shield and had previously budgeted for a 7% increase for health insurance costs. After speaking with them and the recommendations that they had, because we're kind of unique, we have a self-funded insurance plan. Their recommended rates compared to what we have currently fell right in line. They recommended, a really slight decrease in the health insurance cost, but a little increase on the vision and a slight decrease on the dental side. And thinking where the reserve fund is at to keep steering the ship forward at the exact same rates, and employer and employee contribution seems to be the best strategy to move forward at this point. So you'll see that the health insurance costs are lower than they were in the preliminary budget, which is a good thing. So excited to move forward with that. And so we're just going to recommend keeping those things the same. Primarily want to thank the commission for their patience throughout the process. One thing that you'll look, as we continue to look back at the 2021 numbers and as well as 2022, there were some expected expenditures on the infrastructure side that, just as far as the accounting process goes, were expected, it looks like, from 2021. And, we can't really go back and recreate 2021 when we weren't here. So what we're doing is some of those infrastructure transfers and costs, we're just going to recommend moving those to 2022. The most important thing of it all, it doesn't change where we start 2023, nor do we end 2023. So we'll bring those forward to you here at a future meeting. So one change I just note, and I talked with the city attorney about this too, is in the preliminary packet, the 5% for employee salaries for specifically the library, it didn't copy over. And so inherently, if we give all employees 5% raise, that includes the library staff. So just updated those numbers, does not impact any of the city's contribution to the library, and just an administrative error. And so we're good to move forward with that. So lastly, just want to thank the commission's patience throughout this process. And, with all the leadership changes that we've had and all the new staff, we're definitely going to aspire to work with a longer runway for you guys to have further and more in-depth conversations next budget cycle. So thank you.
Well, thanks for all your hard work and all your staff's hard work on the budget and all the department heads also to make this, and appreciate all your efforts and work to try to help us save some money and recognize what was deserving to the employees too. So thanks for all of that. And with that, I guess we just have to vote to approve it, correct?
Yep, I would see if anybody wanted to address the commission, giving us a public hearing, but then after that.
Anybody in the audience that wishes to address the commission on the 2023 budget? If not, okay, I would entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Hatch.
Second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Pierce. Any discussion further? None being, let's do a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
President Mo.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, visitors and delegations. We have Terry Wallace from the Devils Lake Park District and Cale Strummy. Please come forward.
We're just come here, that we kind of update you guys on where we're at with the Lever South building. We've hired a construction manager at risk, and we've hired an architect, so we are putting some plans together there. We just met with them today about 3 o'clock for an hour, and we don't have any final plans yet, but we kind of got some pretty good plans that we're looking at. I'll let Cale address that a little bit more, but we're moving forward on it, and we're going to be meeting with the county commission tomorrow morning. We're still hoping that you guys are on board to help with that. We're kind of figuring that's probably going to be about a $2 million project. So but I think it's going to be a great thing for the community. So at that, I'm going to let Cale kind of take it from there.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to kind of give you an update. As like Terry said, we formed a community committee, like we kind of visited with you prior to this, that we're going to do. Commissioner or Mayor Mo and Spencer also sit on that committee. Throughout the process, the committee had came up with many different ideas that could potentially go into this type of center. We then held a community forum to allow the community to express what their desire to see within a facility like this would be. Within that forum, the top programs that were determined, and it was determined in this order. Some of it was surprised me, but that's kind of how those things go. Number 1 was a movie theater. Number 2 was a walking track. Number 3 was bowling lanes. Number 4 was an indoor playground. Number 5 was multi-sport simulators. Number 6 was pickleball, and number 7 was a community rooms for birthday parties, meetings, community events, and things like that. After initial discussions with our architects, we do feel that we'll be able to get every one of those amenities into this facility, which is really promising and pretty exciting moving forward. Really something I think that our community can be proud of and look forward to, especially after losing some of those type of amenities. And then like Terry said, we do have an architect. We recently got the construction manager at risk. And then within the next month, I think we're going to have a better idea on the costs and expenses to retrofit the building. We will have some more firm fit ups, I think, to kind of present to you guys just to show you kind of where we're at with things. I'm always hesitant to just show right away because things got to change and then people get mad because you didn't have this or you showed this and it wasn't going to have this. But after meeting with, like Terry said, we met with both of those groups today. And so they're really going to ramp up their efforts and try to get us some more firm costs on what we're truly thinking we're going to have as far as that goes. Terry and I also have a meeting set up with North Central Planning this week as well to do some performas so that we'll be able to kind of provide some projections and things like that for the project as well. So yeah, I guess at this time, if you guys have any questions on anything, that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully we'll get that community committee back together once we get some fit ups and can kind of discuss that with the groups. So.
Mayor Mo, members of the commission, first off, probably want to congratulate Mr. Wallace here on his many decades of service to the city of to the Devils Lake community through his work at the Park District. That's my understanding that have you guys found a successor?
We did.
We did.
We did offer a job to Josh Jansen, originally from Devils Lake. We offered it to him last week. He's going to start about October 17th, 18th, I think is his first day here. So I'll be around for a while after that because help kind of do the transition. I'm going to kind of stay involved with this project and a couple other big projects that we have going on. So I'm not like totally going away. So I'll be kind of around, not on a full-time basis, but
Okay, little crash. Yeah, I heard it.
so that's kind of my plan. So
Well,
thank you.
we also, on behalf of the commission, thank you, Terry, for all the years you
Thank
put
you.
with Park Board. And
Working with all you guys over the years. And like I said, I'll still be
Yes.
around to help some.
we're excited to hear what you're doing with the recreation center and stuff. It's your leadership and yours, Cale, that are making things happen here, and where it's exciting and it's something that the community has been asking for a long time. So we're inching closer, and that's exciting.
Yeah, and Mayor Mo, members of the commission, and Park District representatives here, I think they have a request of the county to be a part of this story. that is this quality of life investment that they're working on. And you think about a once in a generational moment with the kind of the federal dollars that have flooded to the community through the pandemic, as well as the recent sales tax vote that was voted on by the community, kind of really communicating that quality of life is important for the future of this community. And so I anticipate probably a request for it to be a part of this story from the city as well moving forward. But like always, the devil's in the details as far as building ownership and lease structure and what exactly is going into the building. So we just have that. I think we'll be seeing Mr. Strumming here and Mr. Wallace again, and see if there's a way that the city can be a part of this story.
Would you envision the theater or the bowling alley to be public or private, or do you gotta even thought it that far through? Or
As of now, it'd probably be public. I mean, it'd be all within the same scope.
okay, so that so the park board would operate in that.
Operate it, yeah.
All right, yeah, no, I think it sounds great. Hopefully it'll happen.
Jason, have you got any questions or any concerns?
My question would be for like the simulators and things of that nature. What would the fees be like for the folks to come in, or are they just going to be open to the community?
There'll be some fees to utilize some of the different aspects within the facility, but I guess at the end of the day, we're kind of a ways from that portion to really have a good grasp. That's part of our meeting with North Central Planning, is to kind of see what kind of different fee structure. At the end of the day, we want it to be as cheap and economically possible for the citizens of our community to utilize the facility at a very, very low cost. So, but
I appreciate that. Yeah, people have just been asking me, so I figured I'd address that and just so you can have the answers so people can know what's going on. I appreciate it. Thank you.
yep, thanks.
If I could add, just from speaking with Mr. Wallace and Mr. Strumming here, and being a part of some of those conversations, the really cool thing about this is we have a chance to make a multi-generational attraction in the community, where we have people from older generations, people from younger generations, people that are my age, all those in between, a place where they all want to gravitate to. So it's not just for one sector of the community, it's for everybody. And so that's what we're aspiring to, and it's really exciting work.
I think one other thing to add to that, working with Jamie Leaders, who owns the building, there's a possibility in the future that he's got a lot of land out there that if this thing goes over well, we could add on to that building or have some outside amenities along with that right out there too. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is going to be a pretty popular building in the school year. How busy it's going to be in the summer, I don't know, but if we have some outside attractions right outside there, I think it would help the inside part of it in the summertime too. So there's a lot of possibilities out there.
Perfect. Sorry for the distraction on. So, but your presentation is great, and it's welcome to hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now it's time for portfolios, and Jason, I'll start with you.
All right, is Corey or Nate there?
Well, they were, but they got turned away. We have a little excitement going on outside the door here, so.
For what I know, they got a new hire out there at the fire department. So they're working through that right now. I sat in on the shade tree committee. They should be done. Angry Beaver's looking at a mid-October time frame for being done, cutting down the trees and stuff, finishing up their job. It was the last meeting for the year for the shade tree. Also, just reminding people I'm reminding people online that Angry Beaver was hired to do this job. So if you don't want your tree cut, come out and talk to them in a respectful manner, because there's been people coming out pretty hostile that they're touching the trees and things of that nature. So talk to them about next year, getting more information out that this is happening beforehand, and contact numbers. So if somebody doesn't want a tree touched, and we can get a hold of them ahead of time to try and mitigate any hurt feelings or anger towards company doing the cutting down of the trees. So that's all I have for now. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Commissioner. Right now, I don't think so, but thanks for being in on the call. So,
I appreciate it.
okay, Commissioner Robbins.
Mike? Streets, engineering.
In engineering, our road project's nearly complete. Commission can notice there's a couple of parking lots downtown. The city-owned lot, the town hall lot just south of us a block, that was worked on, very much needed, as well as the what's called the old journal lot, lot over by the senior center. So you see that in addition to the roadway work that we did over in Fairview Edition and Marewood Edition. So the asphalt is down. There's still some punch list items, a little bit of cleanup work and things that are remaining, but for the most part, the street project is complete. Water main project, we've been working on 11th Street Northwest from 4th Avenue to College. The water main's in place. Right now, we're working on services. Once the services are in, we have to work on some filling, flushing, and going through the process of getting that main prepared for being put into operation. And hopefully the weather holds and we are able to continue with that project. Our goal was to finish 11th Street this year. If the weather holds, we'll see where we're at when we finish that, and we may start a very small section of another water main portion. We want to make sure if we're running temporary water services, we have to be very careful that we don't run into freezing temperatures, because temporary water services are garden hoses run through yards, and they don't work well when there's a lot of freezing temperature. So we'll see where that goes. But that's what we have for engineering, unless you have questions to me.
I don't have anything. I don't know if anybody else does, but I don't.
No? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any streets?
The streets are doing some Dura patching. They're working to prepare some equipment for the white stuff. We hope it won't come, but it'll come eventually, so we have to be prepared for that. We still have some painting to do, and we have some things that we have to do there as well, but yeah, that's what's going on in streets.
Okay. All right, I don't have anything else.
Okay. We're up.
Mike, got anything from sanitation?
Special pickup starts this week. So we have that fall cleanup. That starts this week. Be going for the next 4 weeks. So remind residents that that's going on. Look at the city calendar. Look at the website. And make sure you remind yourself of what area you're in and when your pickup's going to begin. Don't put anything out by that pile that you don't want removed. Right? Make sure that pile is very clear what's going to be removed and what isn't. But that's what's going on in sanitation, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. Nothing else other than Rob Johnson started today in assessing.
Perfect. Okay. Under Commissioner Hamry's portfolio, Mike, I guess.
Utility crews, they're winterizing hydrants and doing things, preparing for cold weather. They're also working with us on the water main project. Our goal is with water main project to replace any lead lines that we come across. And we're utilizing city crews to help install those lead lines. So it's part of our contract with the contractor. The water main's getting replaced, and we're replacing the water service lines all the way up to and including the curb stop. On the homeowner side of that curb stop, if we encounter lead lines, we're really trying to work with the homeowners to have those lead lines replaced. As the commission's aware, EPA is really getting strict on lead line replacement and putting together plans for replacing those lead lines in some fashion and having a plan for that. We've been doing very well with our lead and copper control. So we add a chemical at our water treatment facility to coat those lead lines, right? So the idea is that chemical coats the inside of those lead pipes, and it creates a film between the water and the lead. So the water is actually not touching the lead. You don't think that lead is able to dissolve in water, but it can in very, very small amounts. And so studies have shown if you have a lead line and you don't have good suppression of that lead, then a very small amount of lead over a very long period of time, and you're drinking a lot of water, can build up in your system. And so they put together goals to have these lead lines replaced. We've been very fortunate. Homeowners have been working with us to have their lead lines replacement. Most homeowners understand the importance of getting rid of that lead. And so our crews are working with that. So when we encounter them as part of that project, we'll get them replaced. So that's what's going on utilities.
I saw you must have had a main line break out by Doyen somewhere, pipe in the ground, right?
Rural, I think.
Oh, is that rural? Oh,
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
It was rural.
Okay, I thought it was.
So we've been fortunate. We had some issues with our main transmission line when it was installed in 2007. We had some issues early on, but we've been very fortunate.
I'm glad to hear that because I thought it was ours again. And I thought, oh boy, okay.
And now more than ever, that line is very important because we're serving Northeast Regional. Our water's getting pushed all the way up to Langdon. So that means getting utilized much, much more than it was originally back in 2009 when we fired it up. So
I'm glad to hear it wasn't ours.
So am I, Mayor.
Okay.
That's
I just saw all this stuff out there and it's like big chunk of pipe laying there and I thought, oh boy, okay.
That's all I have unless you have questions.
Okay. Nope. Okay, well, the chief is outside taking care of business, so I don't know what he has. But we'll get back to it if he shows up. But Spencer,
Just, we'll have the second reading of the sales tax ordinance coming out. We wanted to make sure that there was a 15-day window between us. That's what the rules say. So especially with the sales tax, we want to make sure we got that one. Cross our T's, dot our I's on that one. So previous meeting was on a Tuesday. So the timeline's getting a little messed up. So we'll have that coming for you guys and at a future, probably have to be a special meeting, but we'll make sure and advertise it. And then just a gratitude for a quick moment. We have some employees over the last month or two that have reached their years of service landmarks. John Mickelson, 5 years. Joe Kanowski, 5 years. Gene Lamont, 25 years. Saray Forsberg, 20 years. Brandon Exner, 20 years. And Nathan Bennett, 5 years. So I want to thank all those employees for their dedication.
normally we have them here to kind of give them a certificate. Is that something we're going to do it or?
It's something we could definitely could.
I think recognition like that is definitely, long-term employees. And, they work hard for us and I guess recognition, we owe it to them.
Okay, so we'll make sure that we get those individuals here at a future meeting.
Be nice.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
absolutely. So I want to thank them. I want to thank Rob. Rob started today. He's obviously a very involved community member, and he had a board meeting tonight on the first day. So he's looking forward to coming to future commission meetings. And then I want to thank Mike and the engineering department. I think that a lot of work outside the building and off normal hours happens at this time of the year when we're trying to get construction projects going. So it's one of those things you might not recognize, but Mike might have a few more bags underneath his eyes over the last couple of weeks than he does on a normal week. So thank Mike and Devin on the engineering department for all their work with that. One thing I would just gauge the commission's interest in having a conversation on how we handle public comment periods for the city commission meetings. Right now, we have a system in place where if somebody wants to come to address the commission, they have to call usually the Wednesday before a commission meeting if they want to address the commission. And it's created a couple difficult issues and timelines. It's, people want to come and ask the commission, and sometimes we release the agenda already and they can't come formally to speak to the commission. And I think from previous years, we might have had a couple, we'll say frequent flyers that came and had resulted in a couple changes to how the city commission addresses a public comment period. Just administratively, would gauge the commission's interest in maybe just having a public comment portion at the end of the agenda, so that when you get a call on a Friday and say, hey, what time's the commission meeting? Well, we have one on Monday. You could just say, well, there's a public comment period at the end if you'd like to address the commission. And to tell citizens that, well, you can't come to the commission and speak to your elected representatives because you haven't gotten the agenda, 5 days in advance. I think it would just, number one, to be administratively easier, and number two, would provide citizens a chance to come and talk to the commission in a more predictable fashion. You just have a little period, and we'll work with Jack. And I think our current system, we meet the bare minimum standards of North Dakota Century Code, and we can always expand that to whatever the commission's liking is, and set a time period on it and whatnot. So would maybe, if you guys are interested in having a conversation on that at a future meeting, I can bring that up.
I have no problem if you want to just make it up a recommendation now type of thing. I don't think we have to.
I kind of like the idea, you know, at least they have a chance of, you know, not a lengthy conversation, but if they have a beef that they want to just address,
Yeah.
they have an opportunity, but they have to sit through the whole meeting till the end to get to it.
And I think, you know, citizens should have an ability to come in a predictable fashion to come and address any issues that they have. Obviously, we like to, as staff, we like to, if a citizen has a concern, we can hand it, but at the end of the day, you're the elected representatives. And I think there's been times when people wanted to come and the logistics haven't really worked out. So if you call on Thursday, we've released the agenda already. Well, you can't come to this meeting and the next meeting's not for another 2 weeks. You know, it punts it down further down the line. So just something for your consideration and
And from my side of things, it's advisable to have some type of policy like that and protocol that's set and voted on for people to follow.
so should we maybe just bring that before you at the next meeting and
Sure.
set it in stone and then we can write it?
Just recite what you want the policy to look like or
Yep.
recommend what it should look like, and then we can act on it.
Yeah.
I'm-
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Jason, you okay with it?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right, sounds good.
We'll bring that for you at the next meeting. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Jack, have you got anything?
Nothing from me.
Nothing, okay. Chief, you're back, so.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we did tip a cop last week at Applebee's. It turned out really well for our local Special Olympics athletes. We raised over $1,500, so that was a really good amount of money, and that money stays locally to help them with their activities, and it was really fun. It was actually more fun for us than it probably was for them. So we had a good time. So that went from 5 to 9 both Tuesday and Wednesday. So that turned out really well. And then also we're having our CAD meeting with Central Square or Berserker, and that is going to be on Wednesday at 10 o'clock at the LEC courtroom. So anybody interested on this panel that wants to attend that, they sure can. It's more than it's just about money and what it's going to cost each entity, and kind of making people kind of commit a little bit to the program to get it running and get it off the ground. So.
Is that the one they had at the courthouse?
Yep,
Okay,
that's Central Square. Yeah.
okay.
Is there going to be anybody there physically? Or
Yep.
just, okay.
There's going to be one representative that Jason, I forgot his last name, but he'll be there. And then one of the reps on Zoom, he'll be there, kind of his boss. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they'll try to explain it to everybody.
Yeah,
what
any questions that anybody
licensing-
has, because we all have received a pamphlet on the costs and whatnot and what's expected. It's a little inflated due to the fact that they took everybody's numbers that were going to be involved and use the program and let them use every aspect of the CAD program, which we're not going to do. So it's going to change pricing a little bit, and that's what we're going to try to get down to is a good number. Yep. That's all I have.
Okay. Nobody was seriously hurt out there, I hope?
No, just they're all they refused transport from the ambulance.
good.
Hit their head and some airbags went off.
Yep, airbags went off, helped them, but yeah,
It's good to
all
know.
worked out good.
We were all curious. So. Okay,
Not
thank you.
everybody knows.
All right, there you go. You guys did a fine job. Okay. All right, let's see. That would take care of portfolios. Anybody got anything else? If not, we'll move on.
Yes, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
sorry, I forgot to mention during my portfolio that the fire department had their open house last Wednesday, and it was a big success. So I wanted to give them a great job on that open house. I was there for a while, and the kids and all the adults and everybody there were having a great time. So that was a job well done by them. And I also wanted to give a quick public thank you to one of our local city members there, Glenn Crow, and his wife. They saw some graffiti on the west underpass there, and they volunteered to go ahead and paint over that. So thank you to Mike and the engineering department there for getting the supplies for them to go ahead and paint over that graffiti. So I just wanted to thank Mr. Glenn Crow and his wife also for volunteering to paint over the graffiti.
Okay. While they're listening, by the way, Corey's back from the accident, so just so you know, he's here.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? If not, we'll move on to old business, and we have Tanya Wheeler here. What?
Wheeler.
Wheeler.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
To give us an operation assessment, I understand.
Well, answer questions actually. So, so it was brought to my attention, just a question was brought to me about wondering what these operations assessments were and how we've used them in the past. Not a lot of you are, since we've utilized that tool, it's mostly a different commission. I think Commissioner Robbins, you might remember it when we used them. Honestly, in the past, and I put this into a memo for you actually a month ago already. So it was like August. In the past, these operations assessments were used as sort of a diagnostic tool. Okay, so it's when we felt like we had some concerns present in departments, and we use them as a diagnostic tool to try to help us sort of pinpoint what the issues were. Okay, I believe what was maybe discussed last time, I wasn't here, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what was discussed last time was wondering if we could use this tool on a rotating basis for each department. Which is fine. It can be utilized as that, but I almost think you need to kind of rebrand it if you're going to do that, because I think that in the past it was used for a different purpose. And so you already have an existing framework in the city for performance management. You know, you have your NeoGov system that works really well from what I understand. And I've always heard really good feedback on that. And so I think you should keep using that for performance management. If you want more of an overall assessment of the functionality of the city and the departments, to me, that's more part of a strategic plan, you know. So I would say you want to look more towards doing like a strategic plan for the whole city and look at breaking it down by department. When we talk about HR, we think about the technical side of HR and the strategic side of HR. The technical side is your things like your policy, updating policy manuals and hiring procedures and firing and that kind of thing. That's the technical side. And the way it was used in the past was kind of fit more in that technical side of things. It was used as a diagnostic tool. I think maybe what you would be looking for if you wanted to do it would be more of an overall assessment of the functionality of the department. And that's getting into strategic planning, right? Like, what do we want to do? What are the goals for the departments, for the city as a whole? But I guess I wanted to, from what I gather, last time there was a little bit of discussion and it was decided that maybe it'd be helpful to just have me here to answer questions about it. So that's what I'm here for. So if you have any questions as to how it might be used, or if you even want to utilize it, that's what I'm here for.
Well, my thoughts on it were, if you called it an annual survey, and then, I don't know, you would have maybe departments, it should be, private or whatever.
Anonymous.
Anonymous?
Anonymous, that's the word I was looking for, sorry. But, and just basically get some feedback on employees, if we're gonna do this, as to how they feel their department is working, or anything as far up as even the commission, what their opinions are on that. I don't know how the questions would be put together, or every question, when I've filled out some for Midco I work for, every question seems to be linked to somewhere else in the survey, it seems like.
Sure.
And then they score it, whatever mechanism they use. But have you had any experience with anything like that? Just want to call it a survey more than
An
it could be
assessment?
considered
Yeah.
diagnostic, but
Yeah,
might give you some exposure to something that you're not aware of potentially.
right. I do. I think that the concern that comes up in my mind is that, and I've seen it, another agency that's utilized it on a regular basis, and similar to what you're saying in a survey sort of format. My concern is the perception that's out there of what it's been used for in the past, right? I think it's got such a negative feeling to it because of how it's been used in the past. So I totally appreciate where you're going with it and what, you know, but I think it's going to require almost like I said, a kind of a rebranding completely, right? Because what are you seeking to gain from it, I guess, is the question that I would have for you. What is your end goal for doing it? You know, are you, and from what you just said, it's almost looking at, you know, overall functionality, and it's kind of that leans to a strategic plan. You know, what do we want to do as a city? Where do we want to go? And what's holding us back from getting there, kind of thing. That's part of an assessment like that. But I just have concerns with the anonymous piece of it, honestly, because of how it's been utilized here in the past. Because we've utilized it in the past as a diagnostic tool, and it was done in an anonymous format then. So I think I would encourage, almost in order to rebrand it, I think you'd almost have to encourage a lot of transparency in it. Otherwise, I just feel like it's gonna. I worry about how well it's gonna be received, honestly. By staff and by department heads, and I guess I would seek their input a lot with it too. If you were to move forward, I think the department head input would be really crucial to say, what do we want to, what's our end goal with this? What do we want to accomplish with utilizing this tool, right?
I use the example, like when I was in the military, we would always annually have a unit climate survey just to see what the climate of the feelings within the unit are on their leadership, and if they think they're being mentored, things of that nature. So, I'm thinking towards this, my feelings would be just to see what the climate is of the different departments, with the employees. To kind of see where we maybe need, like you were saying, need to go to change certain things, and how goals we can set to get it to where, the employees seem to want it to go.
Within your performance management tool right now, because I don't work, of course, with it, directly myself personally, right? How much of that is incorporated with your NeoGov in particular? Anybody, I don't know, even know who to ask that question to, but, is any of that addressed in any way in your NeoGov system or not really? As far as like overall.
Not necessarily like the Commissioner Pierce is talking about, unit climate survey.
Yep.
I don't know that it does that.
Okay.
Right? Because it's an individual assessment. So, you have a conversation.
Right.
And I would hope that this department heads will have its communication is two-way street. Yes, I am evaluating you as part of this, but I'm soliciting feedback as well. And they have their portion of the review that they can provide comments. And so if something is bothering them, if they didn't feel, they have their opportunity to voice their concerns there. And the verbal feedback that you get, but I think we all try and do that as part of the review.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not asking the questions that the unit climate survey or what you're asking about, Commissioner Robbins, related to a full assessment of
Sure.
what, of that. It is a little bit different.
If I could just speak from the administrator's perspective and talking with the department heads and supervisor teams, making sure that anything that we would incorporate with this is about moving the organization forward in a positive direction, not necessarily as, I think the phrase is a fault-finding mission, as that has kind of been the purpose in the past. We have a problem. Well, we need to get some more information about this problem that we have going on. And so we've used that. And, maybe it's something as simple as on our, performance evaluations that we have for employees, including a section on, asking them a couple of questions. Well, where do you want to be going in your career? Do you feel like you're being mentored? Or do you have any ideas on how we could improve the department? And those sorts of things. And they can have a conversation with their supervisor and or department head throughout that. And they can also put it in writing as part of the evaluation process. I think that would, it would be a way to address some of these concerns to gain further feedback from employees on how to move the organization and their department moving forward.
I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with anonymous.
I think speaking with the team, one of the things is if the employee has an issue, we'd like to be able to sit down with them and ask them, why don't you think these things are going well? What can we do to improve? And have a conversation. When things are anonymous, I think it makes things difficult a little bit.
So it's basically what we want to do is just modify our evaluation process just a little bit then.
Yeah, I think
And
our
not go
modify
through
our
a whole lot
performance
of other
evaluation
stuff.
process, include a little employee feedback where they can have a dialogue with their supervisor on those sorts of things.
I would be more inclined to support that than
And does
anything.
it, I'm just throwing this out for conversation, does it go anywhere after that? I mean, is there a point that we should be concerned or be informed on if Tommy has got a problem in his department and he's talking to a supervisor and then the supervisor, not saying somebody's gonna do it, but
Well,
just doesn't do anything about it. How does it
I would say,
move from there?
yeah, I would say at the end of the day, speaking with Tanya earlier today, if an employee has an issue, our first recommendation is always talk to your supervisor.
Right.
And if they view that the response from their supervisor is unsatisfactory, then they can go up to the department head level. And my office is always open. So long as, and if an employee has an issue and they want to come talk to me, I'm going to ask those two questions. Have you talked to your supervisor? Have you talked to your department head? Come talk to me. As well as, I know we have portfolio holders as well here on the commission. So I think there's a lot of avenues for an employee to address any concerns.
I thought the employees always had an appeal process. If they things didn't go the way they liked it, they had the opportunity to present it to the commission.
I think in the very end they do.
Yeah.
In the very,
Yeah.
in the very end, we
Very
want,
end.
we want to pursue all the administrative,
So,
in-house options we have. As you know, these meetings are public. When you talk about sensitive employee issues, it does get difficult.
I think that makes more sense to just to modify your evaluation process to include a little bit more information and not go through a big process.
We'll take that guidance moving forward. I don't think we need any action, but I think we have the direction that the commission's looking, and we'll look to enhance our performance review process to include an employee feedback portion of it a little bit.
Appreciate your work on it, Tanya.
Absolutely, yeah.
On the legal side of things regarding anonymity or not, one thing you do want to keep in perspective is depending on the type of feedback you're looking for. So if it's constructive criticism and you want employees to give that, if they give it about a superior and then later get fired and their name is on it, you're looking at the potential for a retaliation claim. So be mindful of that. And yeah, that's just something I wanted to bring to your
Okay.
attention when you're thinking about that.
Anything further?
I have nothing.
Okay, we don't, no action necessary. Thank you, Tanya.
Absolutely.
Also, while we're here, I want to thank Tanya. You want to talk about a return on investment that the city gets for services? Tanya does a wonderful job throughout the budget process. We had, although we didn't do a formal salary study, there were a lot of phone call conversations, and she's available all the time. And she's come up here a number of times to help with whether it's training with all of our team members. So I really want to thank Tanya for all the work she does. We get a great return on investment for that. And she's very humble, so she won't brag, but we want to thank her.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay. Now we'll move into new business. And first item is the second reading of Ordinance 983. Okay, that is,
As a commission, for the first reading, if you look at the map in the back, it's a very small parcel that was excluded from city limits. And now for that particular property owner to improve their property, they need some more square footage. And part of their lot is in city limits and part of the property that they own is outside city limits. So the ordinance, if you look at the map, would annex the proposed city limits, which is the area in blue. And so the difference between the yellow line and the blue line is what's described in the legal description of the ordinance. It's been reviewed by the planning commission, recommend approval of the ordinance.
okay.
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hatch,
Second.
second by Commissioner Robbins to approve Ordinance 983. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Second item, pay estimate project 2220-101 Mill and Overlay Project. Goes to you, Mike.
It does, Mayor. The pay estimate includes work that's been completed to date for our mill and overlay project. Total due this estimate, $492,505.85. Again, it's for work that's been completed. Recommend approval of the pay estimate.
I'll make motion to pay the estimate as presented.
Got a motion by Commissioner Robbins,
I'll second to pay the bills. The
second
bill
by
as presented.
Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hatch.
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
President Mo.
Aye. Motion carries. Third item, the city administrator introductory period. Uh-oh. Time to beat you down?
Yeah, President Mo, members of the commission, we have a standard 6-month introductory period for all employees, which it serves as like a little bit of a feeling out period. And the past 6 months has been quite a ride with all the leadership changes, and we feel we've gotten a lot accomplished nonetheless. And I really appreciate working with all you guys.
You're not bowing out on us?
No. Can't thank anyone for all the grace and the patience that everyone's had. So at the end of this time period is usually associated with a step increase for the employee. And I report to the commission, so just want to bring it before you. And I won't deny it's been quite a bit of a roller coaster. A lot of new team members, and the urgency of the business that was brought before us with the budget and whatnot. So can't thank city staff enough. Can't thank the broader community enough for the welcoming that we've been here, or I have received since coming back to town. And most importantly, I can't wait to live and work in this community for quite some time. And so hope the commission would feel the same. So.
Well, I thank you for what your hard work and how you had to quickly get up to speed on everything. And so far, it's not been too bad of a ride so far. And I know there's been a lot of new guys coming in, myself included, but I think things have been going fairly smoothly, and we pick up from where we left off, and we're doing fine.
We have an excellent team here to work with.
So as far as a step, do we need a motion on that?
I would say so.
Okay.
It would be better.
I think to bring me in as I think they call it full status.
Full
Full-time
status.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make motion to bring Spencer on as a full-time, in his full-time status position.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Robbins,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion on that? None being, all in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 More opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations. Well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next item is the fire department hire. I guess that falls into Corey.
So I believe you have in front of you the memo that Nate sent out September 12th. We went through the interview process, interviewed 4 individuals, found a worthy candidate with Mr. Jeremy Beck, who is currently employed at the airport. So what I guess we're asking for here is he is currently a 9G on the pay scale for the city at the airport. With the way that Chief Bennett has made his, we want to call it tiered system for, I think he's talked to most of you guys about that. The way to fit Jeremy in that tiered system, he's only missing a couple things, but if we go from a 9G to an 8J, it won't cost Jeremy any money it's basically a lateral move. I think he gets $6 more, but it's basically a lateral move, puts him at an 8, still gets him 4 years of steps to accomplish what he needs to accomplish to move up to the 9 and to the 10.
But he's not losing money by going
He's
from
not-
one place
he's
to
not losing
another
any
that
money.
way.
That was our goal to begin to move him. He just has, in the 9G, he has more steps this just moves him up farther on the 8 pay scale. He's not losing any money doing that.
It's not costing us any more to put him in there.
No,
But he's got that advancement process once he
and
completes
he's
it.
actually, so when Aaron left, he was a 10 something. So the money isn't costing anybody here. It's pretty much a wash. The questions of me on that, we're asking because it's above the standard starting step. We need permission from the city commission to approve this and hire him at this level.
I think it's pretty much a lateral anyway, so.
Mhm. Actually going backwards a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, he's not losing any, like I said, he's not
But he's
losing
not
any money.
losing
That was
any
our
money.
goal. He's not necessarily, he's moving backwards on it from a 9 to an 8, but he's still moving up a few steps to gain that, like I said, it's $6 a month.
Mhm.
But,
it'll give him time to get
and he'll
qualified now.
he'll have, like I said, he's an 8 end and that's the top. So he'll have 4 steps to get, and I think he only has a couple things to move up in that tier to a 9 and then from there to the 10. So it shouldn't take him very long to do that. So.
Make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Hatch,
I second.
Second by Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? None being, motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. And the next item is a motion to approve the payment of bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Commissioner Robbins,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hatch. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins.
Aye.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
President Mo.
Aye. Motion carries, and that will be all business that comes before the city commission. So, meeting adjourned. Made the football game.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
For the help, Spencer, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason, for being available.
Bye.
Once in a while.
Yes.